In Proverbs it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. And I think we kind of take that symbolically. So let's dive in and take a look at it literally. Some people think of this verse as just like a heavenly vision, heavenly kind of state. But let's think about the vision that our eyes actually give us. Our eyes give us the ability to see someplace other than where we are at currently. But look around you. You can see across the room. You can see all the way down the street. If you're in a wide open space, you can see for miles and miles in any direction. What's crazy, you can see the moon. You can even see stars that are light years away. And you're probably thinking, yeah, I can see. What does that have to do with anything? It's important to pay attention to, because when you can see someplace, then you can get someplace. Because you can see the other side of the room, you can literally just walk over there. You can go to the other side of the room. Being able to see allows us to move forward, to progress to someplace besides our current position. You see, it's simple. If we can see it, then we can achieve it. If we can see it, then we can go there. If we can see a mountaintop, then we can reach the mountaintop. But if that's what we actually decide to do, then we need to keep our vision fixed on that mountaintop. We need to stay focused on the goal. And let's say on our hike, as we're hiking along, then we decide to turn around and look into the valley behind us. The progression up the mountain then stops. You cannot move uphill while looking downhill. Well, you could try. You probably wouldn't make it very far though. If you don't have a vision of where you're going, it's much harder to get anywhere. I think of the story in Alice in Wonderland when she runs into the Cheshire Cat and she says, "Which path should I take?" The Cheshire Cat then asks her, "Well, where do you want to go?" And she says, "Then I'm not sure." And he responds, "Then it doesn't matter which path you take." If we don't have a vision of where we want to end up, then any path will do, and we just have to deal with the consequences. But if we know where we want to go, then we can choose the path that coincides with that destination, with that end goal. Not having a vision of where you want to end up actually dams our progress. When we put a dam in a river, it stops it from flowing and it stops it from progressing, right? When the proverb says, "Where there is no vision, the people perish," it applies to us because if a person doesn't have a vision for where he wants to go, where he wants to end up, then he will remain in the same place. He begins to stagnate, to atrophy, and eventually he will perish in the exact same place that he started. We are meant to keep moving forward. We're meant to progress. We're meant to reach someplace more and someplace higher than where we currently are. That's what drives us. That's part of being human, is striving for more. I like the term eternal progression, and that's what we're striving for. Here's the story. In the country of Israel, there are two lakes. One is the Sea of Galilee, and one is the Dead Sea. The Sea of Galilee is constantly flowing. It has a flow, and there are plenty of living things. But the Sea of Galilee actually empties, flows down the River Jordan into the Dead Sea, where there is no flow and there are no living things. We need to be continually flowing, continually progressing. We must have a compelling vision of something more than what we have now and of a place better than where we are now. Those are called goals. Goals inspire us. Goals motivate us to push forward and to overcome obstacles, and sometimes even to swim upstream to make a difference in our own lives and in the lives of those around us. If we don't move forward in life to share with others what we have been given to continually progress, seeking to lift others as we continually strive to improve ourselves, then we fulfill the proverb. We become as dead as the Dead Sea. We become stagnant and complacent. I mentioned obstacles before. Obstacles are a part of every person's life journey. Let's say we actually set a goal to reach the mountaintop, that we started hiking along a path in that direction towards that mountaintop, keeping that in vision, keeping that in our sight, and we're moving towards the tippy top of the mountain. Now let's say in our path there's a boulder. And instead of trying to move around the boulder, which obviously represents obstacles, let's say we walk right up to it. We started focusing, instead of on our goal, on the boulder. And we got so focused on the boulder that we walked right up next to it until we put our nose up against the boulder. It then begins to fill more and more of our focus, and then we can see less and less of our original goal. And once our noses touch the boulder, then it has completely obstructed the vision of the original goal. And sometimes we do this with the obstacles in our lives. We have goals and we have dreams, we have places that we're trying to get to, things that we're trying to achieve, but when an obstacle appears, we get so focused on that obstacle, so stressed about that obstacle, that becomes our sole focus, and we slowly just turn our focus from the goal to the obstacle, and then we let it consume us. We let it fill our entire field of view, and we feel like you've ever had like an obstacle where you suddenly feel like the world is ending if you don't resolve that one thing? You could probably remember back when you had one of those and now it's fine, and you're like, oh yeah, I guess I have had one of those. See, obstacles don't need to consume our vision. Obstacles don't need to consume our focus. The more we focus on them, the bigger they get, when we really just need to keep our vision clear and keep our eyes on the goal. So, we do need to acknowledge the boulder in our path as we're hiking up towards the mountaintop. We do need to acknowledge obstacles in our lives, but we have to keep the vision on where we want to end up and not on where we don't want to go. If we find ourselves in a position where we've pressed our noses up against a big boulder, a big obstacle, and that's all we're focused on is on the item or the obstacle that is sabotaging us, then we just need to take a couple steps back. We need to expand our vision, and we need to refocus on the original goal and have hope that there is always a way around or through the obstacle. There's always a way around or over the boulder, and we become stronger because of it. So we have that. To find that solution, like I said, we need to take a step back, we need to expand our vision, refocus on the goal, and keep moving forward, and solutions will present themselves. Many people have a dream, have a goal, have a vision of what they would like their life to look like, or something that they would like to do or be in life. But at the first sign or hint of adversity, then they step back. They're like, oh, this must not be right. This can't be right. And so they settle back. They become complacent. They live a mediocre life. They fall back into the status quo, a complacent life without a compelling vision. They lack the ability to see around the boulder and believe in the possibility of achieving their dream. Since they can't see around the boulder, their hunger and their drive and their motivation to achieve that goal dwindles and then becomes dormant. I challenge you to wake your dormant dreams. Live your purpose. Press forward. Keep the compelling vision of your goals, of your ideal life in your mind's eye. Even if it seems impossible to achieve, because it's not. Now, we're not meant to be better than other people. We're never meant to try to strive to be better than somebody or to be higher than somebody in position. And just as a rising tide lifts all ships, when we strive for our goals and strive for excellence, then it kind of allows other people to do the exact same thing and to strive for their goals. Marianne Williamson said, "As we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we're liberated from our own fear, our presence actually liberates others." I challenge you to believe that all things are possible. Keep the vision, because you were designed to do great things.